Stop believing in everyone. Okay, I'm not putting any hashtags on this video. So if you so happen to be seeing me, okay, you know that this message is meant for you, and that this message has the intention of uplifting, dignifying, elevating, and blessing you and stimulating you. All right, then, that is the only intention that I got for you. Now, Spirit is saying, Source is saying, Creator, your higher self, your just all, whatever it is that you're wanting to believe, the part that loves and cares about you and wants you to succeed and wants you to be with joy is saying, stop believing in everyone. Because when you're believing in everyone, you get yourself all confused. All right, you get yourself all turned around. You're trying to figure out, okay, what's true and what's not. So, like, and you can determine what is true and what is not by really just checking in with your feelings in regards to whatever it is that they are saying. Okay, some people, honest to God, don't know what the fuck it is that they're talking about, and they don't mean to give bad advice, or they don't mean to spew their negative stories, or like their contrasting stories. They don't know any better. They literally do not know any better. They grew up seeing and experiencing lack, fear, insecurity, scarcity, and like self-hatred. And so that is what ended up being imprinted onto them. And if they don't realize that that's been imprinted onto them, and they don't realize that they can actually change it, that's what they're going to give out, because that's all they got in their cup. you know and that doesn't mean that you have to actually agree with them. That's the thing. You can see it, you can witness it. Okay, you can be a witness, you can observe it, but you don't have to agree. Okay, the person that is saying, oh, life is hard and it's only always about problems, there's always a problem, you don't have to believe in that person. You do not have to listen to that person. Okay, the person that is saying, oh, there's only certain kinds of ways to get money, or like OnlyFans is only for, prostitutes and all that good jazz. No, you actually don't have to believe in them, because guess what? OnlyFans, for example, has a lot more things than just, sex work. And we all know this. Like, some people honestly truly don't know this, but some people, honest to God, know this. Okay. And like, it's just coming from ignorance. That's really just it. Coming from ignorance. And like, just not realizing and not knowing. Some people, like, for example, the starving artist label, you don't actually have to believe in that. Just because some people ended up struggling, because they already had the belief of struggle. Okay, that's the key. They already had that belief activated within them. Just because some people ended up struggling through their artistry, through their creativity, in order to bring in the income, bring in the fame, bring in the glory, whatever it is that they were wanting, doesn't mean you have to agree that, oh, that's just the way of the artist. The way of the artist is always starving. No, you don't have to believe in that. Don't let yourself fucking fall for that okey doke shit, bro, because you gonna end up making yourself unnecessarily suffer. Okay, some people, all they know is suffering, and that's all they're going to like preach about, unnecessary suffering. You don't have to agree with that in any shape or form. Okay, that's the thing. You can affirm that life is easy and life is good and life loves you and life wants you to succeed. Your angels, your ancestors, they want you to succeed. You can believe that people care about you. All right, then, because that's the part of the transmutation. It's the part of, like, we're transmuting ignorance, we're transmuting inner darkness through discernment. Okay, and through our own inner knowing. All right, and our divine providence, and just like through our light, essentially through the life that exists within us, and through our light. All right, and that ends up being turning into, like, okay, this is actually what's true. All right, and like, understanding how important it is to take care of ourselves, not only in body but also in mind, not only in mind but also in physical reality and our physical environment. All right, then. Because, like, being able to work with all of that together, that ends up helping you to create what it is that you're wanting to create. All right. And you do want to create happiness. You do want to create wealth. You do want to create known and renowned and like being seen and being heard and being recognized and whatever it is, and it's just really about like having the confidence in yourself and working through those beliefs that you have, recognizing what exactly is a limitation and what exactly is not, and then having the willpower and the integrity of yourself, the integrity of your being to choose, okay? Because you always get to choose. You choose things every day, and you can choose what kind of beliefs that you end up holding on to, excuse me, as well. Confirmation, and it might be for some people it might be hard to digest, because like burping is also like a symptom of like something needing to be digested, and it's the sense of like digesting the fact that you do actually create life through your beliefs. And that's so real. And once you know that, you end up being connected to source in such a deeper way, and you end up being connected to other people who are connected to source in such a different way, in such a healing and wholesome way. Okay. So it's just stop believing in everyone. Seriously, stop believing in everyone, because like Tom and Harry over here are just coming from fear, and that doesn't mean you have to agree with them. All right, Sue and Mary over here are coming from insecurity and self-hatred. That doesn't mean you have to agree with them. All right, then you can choose to believe in messages of hope and comfort and miracles and wonder, and there's no limits. Pigs can fly. Okay? Imagine if the Wright brothers pretty much believed everyone who told them, "Oh, people can't fly. That doesn't make sense. That crazy. Just give up." If they would have believed them, we wouldn't even have airplanes right now. All right, the first person who ended up creating a boat, other people must have been like, what the fuck are you on right now? And you know what? Guess what? They still ended up making it anyway. And now we've got cruise lines, whole cruise lines now, carrying who knows how many people, and there's water slides on it and all that good jazz. So it's like, okay, there's literally no limits. Okay, astral projection, out of body experiences, those are things that are real and that are happening. Imagine if the first person that did it was like, oh, this is a thing that I'm doing, and they listened to some other fucking person that just didn't know any better. I almost called them a mean name, but I was like, okay, they didn't know any better. There's no need to call them mean names. But it's like that's not real. They would say that's not real, and so the other person ends up believing them, and that is an avenue that never ends up getting explored, because you ended up believing in someone who didn't understand what it is that you were meant to do, didn't understand what was in your heart, didn't understand that what was in your third eye, in your inner eye, in your vision. Okay, in your dreams, literally in your dreams. All right, so it's like you gotta stop believing in everyone, because some people just don't particularly understand, and that might be a little bit hard. That might be a little bit hard, because some people are just wrapped up in their grief, and they're wrapped up in the fact that there's spilled milk, and that they feel like they're never gonna get that same kind of spilled milk again, not even realize that they still have good things going on for them right over here. They still got good things going on for them. And the advice of that card is like, you get up and you keep going. There's gonna be more cups. Okay, there's gonna be more opportunities. It's not a one and done. This life is not a one and done. All right, there's so many more opportunities to expand your life, to live your life, to enjoy your life, to love your life, and to allow life to love you as well. All right, so it's pretty much that. You can't be believing in everyone, and it's okay. You don't even got to believe in me. You have the free will to do so. That's the thing. You literally have the free will to do so. At any point in time, you could be like, you know what? I don't really believe in this person. I don't even know who this person is. I'm not gonna really believe in them. So I'm gonna just ignore you, lady. Okay. So it's like, okay, you can do that. You have the right to do that. You really do. So it really just depends on what it is that you're wanting to do. As I said, I'm only inviting people who at like they're ready to receive this message. They're ready to receive and benefit from this message. They're realizing that there is more. They're realizing that life can be fun. Okay, life can be enjoyed. All right. Those are the kind of people that I be attracting. All right. Because I be having fun with life. I enjoy life. I love my job. I'm always getting money in some shape or form. Like, I don't have to worry about a roof over my head. Like, I am quite secure, and I'm always eager for the good that's coming, for the more that's coming, because there's always more coming. All right. And I give and I receive. And the more I give, the more I receive. And I give and receive all of the good and all of the abundance of the universe. That's what I affirm for myself. That's what I intend for myself. And so that is the kind of people that I'm going to attract. Part of the calling, part of the soul tribe. All right, part of the waking up. All right, if you're seeing me, gosh darn well, it's time for you to like really take yourself seriously. Take yourself seriously in the sense of everything that is here right now, I have created through my thoughts, beliefs, expectations, and assumptions. I contributed to this. I'm an active participant of life. I am the creator of my reality. Okay. So, and it can be quite shocking. It can be quite shocking because like even the way people interact with me, I created that. I really, really did. I already had the expectation that this person was gonna give me a problem. For example. And guess the fuck what? They gave me a fucking problem. So of course, because I created that on my own. So it's like, okay, knowing that all is well. Knowing that all is well, I have everything it is that I need, and I can enjoy myself, and I can enjoy life. And being able to do that is going within yourself, really, really getting to do the inner work type of thing, getting to do the inner work, finding that light inside of you, and then moving forward with awareness of that light. All right. And just letting it touch you and just letting it touch everything. Okay. That's the thing. That's the thing. So it's I'm gonna keep repeating it because at first I just was gonna do like a 10-minute video. It was gonna be just within the constraints of the 10 minutes that TikTok ends up giving you like in app. But like I ended up getting the impulse like, hey, you need to expand on this even more. And I'm like, okay, bet, I'm gonna listen. And so here we are. So it's like, I don't know how long this baby is going to be, but it's going to be as long as I'm feeling inspired, I'm feeling impulse to do so. And then once I feel it, it will feel done. And then that's when you will receive this message. So it's like, and even then it won't be fully done, because like you're always entering a new experience. That's the thing. You're always entering something new in your life. Like even with things are still the same, like it still ends up being in some shape or way new, because guess what, it is January 5th there's of 2026. There's not gonna be another January 5th of 2026. Okay, because the next January 5th is going to be 2027. So literally, if you want to think about it logically, pragmatically, today is literally a new day, and you can choose whatever it is that you want with this new day. You really can. Okay, but you like it's taking the action and maintaining that action, maintaining that dominant vibration, okay? Of like, I'm intending joy. I'm intending love. I'm intending harmony. I intend to interact with people who are harmonious with me. I intend to interact with people who will uplift me, dignify me, elevate me, stimulate me. Okay, that is who I'm intending to interact with. Okay, and I'm not gonna listen to shit else. That's the thing. You can't be listening to shit else, because if I ended up listening to some people in my life, I wouldn't have gotten the apartment that I've gotten. Okay? If I would have listened to, oh, you can't talk about your plans, don't talk about your plans, don't talk about your plans. Guess what? I wouldn't have gotten the apartment, because I wouldn't have told my boss. And my boss wouldn't have thought of me when this random, okay, person ends up coming over to my boss and being like, hey, I have an apartment for rent. Do you so happen to know anyone who is looking for an apartment? Okay, if I would have listened to people, I would have thought this apartment was a scam, because of just how affordable the rent is and the amenities that end up coming with it. I would have skipped it. I would have skipped it. I would have dead ass skipped it. Like, my rent is shockingly affordable. Especially in my area, shockingly. All right then. Like, no cap, it's definitely shocking. A part of me wants to say it, but a part of me ends up feeling like I'm bragging. And you know what? I can brag. That's totally fine. Because if miracles happen all the time, and if miracles happen for me, they can happen for you too. My former rent was $630, and it was $630 for 6 years. Okay? All right. This current rent is only $20 more. $20 more. No, for real, $20 more. And people are convinced. People were telling me, oh, it's so hard to find an apartment right now. Oh, everything is so expensive. Oh, nobody wants pets. If I would have listened to that, I would have been fucking stuck like Chuck. I probably would have been back at the fucking motel, hotel, living homeless again. If I would have listened to people. And like, they don't mean harm. They really truly don't. They really truly don't. But it's just a matter of, I was looking out for my own thoughts, for my own vibration, for my own interest. Okay? At that point, I wasn't believing in anybody who was saying any way, any wise, otherwise. Okay? I'm like, yep, I hear you. I'm not gonna listen. I'm not gonna agree. I hear what you're saying. That's about it. I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. I don't have to agree. That's the thing. You know? Like, a lot of good things ended up happening for me because I was hard-headed. Okay, and what the fuck I was thinking it was going to happen. Like, for example, I was fostering a dog. His name is Peanut. Cutest baby you ever did see. He's not small like a peanut. He's just colored like one. And so, my mom originally had the dog and decided to leave the state, give the dog to me, thinking I was going to be able to keep Peanut. And it's like, no, I cannot keep Peanut, because at the time, my current apartment did not allow large animals. And at that time, Peanut was a large animal. Okay? So I literally had this dog as a fugitive in my house. Because I was like, well, I got to find a way to give him to someone who would take care of him. Like, take care of him for real, and give him all the love and the patience that he needs and the exercise that he needs, because he's a big dog, so he needs a lot of exercise. And like, my past family is impatient as fuck. So it's like, I want someone who will be patient with him, that knows what they're doing, when it comes to taking care of animals. Because I love my family, but they don't know what the fuck it is that they're doing sometimes. Like, they really fucking don't. And so, like, this was all that I wanted, like a loving home for him, patient, all that good jazz. And so, I ended up like just holding on to him the entire time, and I've gotten the help that I needed. Like, my friend ended up making posters for Peanut, and I put those posters up, and answering people when they call, all that good jazz. And then, like, there was some like touch and go. There was like missed kind of misfires. You know, there's this one lady who was like absolutely adored Peanut. She had a lot of animals, and then something happened in the house to the point where like she wasn't able to take care of, she wasn't able to provide Peanut what it is that he needed. Okay. And I saw that through the cards. I saw it coming. And I was like, okay, no problem. She tried offering Peanut to another person that she knew. And I pulled cards. And one of the cards for like underhandedness and betrayal and like just maliciousness ended up coming up. And I was like, no, no, listen, lady, I read cards, and like the cards are telling me she's a no-go, and she's trying to convince me, oh, but I've known this person, da 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 da. And I'm like, guess what? I trust my cards more than I'm gonna trust the person, because when I ended up trusting the person more than I trust my cards, I got fucked over. And you're not gonna fucking fuck with this dog, bro. I will fucking lose it. All right? Because Peanut deserves better. Just because my mom was incapable of doing her fucking job and not taking care of Peanut doesn't mean Peanut deserves to go to another place where they don't do their fucking job and taking care of an animal. No. No, you miss me with that okie doke bullshit, okay? And that's exactly what it is. I said it much kinder, more diplomatic, but it's like I feel passionate about it, so that's why the energy is coming out that way. So like she accepted the fact that I was like, no, that's not gonna happen. My cards are telling me this. I trust my cards, because when I didn't trust my cards, I got fucked over. Not happening. All right. She respected it. Fine. And then there was another lady, a lady that I actually knew from like a former job, was interested in Peanut, and it's like it looked like it was going good at first, but then when finally the day came and she took Peanut away, like there was like aggression between her dog and Peanut, and I pulled cards, and it was like if they waited just at least waited a month, then it will be fine, but of course, some people they feel her dog was like mad tiny, like small, very small compared to Peanut. So it's like I understood where she was coming from in the aspect of like, yo, I don't want my dog to end up getting hurt. I'm so sorry. And she was really apologetic. I could tell. So I'm like, okay. So I felt frustrated, but I understood. I definitely did. So I'm like, okay, we're just gonna keep going. We're gonna keep trying. And then eventually I ended up meeting a couple where I ended up meeting them a couple of times, and they also had a dog, and the dog was like at first a little nervous around Peanut, but like I could tell that she was getting more used to it, and I pulled cards on them, and like the cards were good. The cards were good. So I'm like, you know what? All right then. I'm liking this couple. I'm liking their energy and things of that nature. And then that's when, a little later my former landlord realized that like I had this dog. I had Peanut, and like and he was not that happy about it. And not to mention the downstairs neighbors ended up lying to this man, being like, "Oh, Peanut barks every day," and it's like, you know, no, he doesn't. He only barks when I'm there and I put him in the kettle, you know, and he doesn't want to be in the kennel. So it's like, and like I even had a neighbor end up going around my house making noise to see if this dog would bark. Guess what? Peanut didn't bark. All right. And actually, the new people, and I love them so much because I know them, I feel so close with them now. They still share me pictures. They told me too, like they also have a neighbor, and the neighbor doesn't hear Peanut. So you're fucking bullshitting. Okay then. All right. Bet. What the fuck ever. I don't give a fuck. Peanut has a happy now. Peanut is happy now. He has a happy home now. So I'm like, you know what? I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck about your opinion. Okay. So it's like they landlord tried rushing me and trying to tell me, oh, put them in the pound and da 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 da. And you know what? What's so funny is that the pound was full. How do I know the pound was full? Because my mom first called the fucking pound. The pound. Okay. And they told her that it was full. So it's like that was the only reason Peanut was not in a pound at that time and moment. That's the only reason that Peanut was with me, because by stroke of goodwill, the pound was full. So that's when she thought of me. All right. So it's like, okay, like I'm feeling frustrated. I'm like trying to like figured something out, and I'm telling the couple, like, hey, my landlord is giving me a hard time now, like things need to be sped up, and they were very gracious with me, and so things ended up being sped up, and then they have Peanut now, and they send me pictures, and they love Peanut. They buy him special food for his sensitive tummy so that he wouldn't be crapping out watery shit. So it's like come on, bro. Come on. So it's like point of these stories is don't be believing in everyone, because not all people are understanding why it is that they're saying what it is that they're saying. And some people are not even understanding what it is that they're saying. All right. And so it's not their fault. It's not their fault. They're responsible for it. It's their job to be aware of what it is that they're saying and why it is that they're saying and what it is that they're doing and why it is that they're doing. But it's not their fault that they originally ended up getting that stuff, because like in the sense of like, yes, we all chose to incarnate here, you know, and it's not their fault that their parents just didn't know any better, you know, so as a kid, you know, and so like it just ends up being part of the cycle. And so like it's up to them to break the cycle. If they don't see a problem, then they don't see a problem. You know, if they think life is just about suffering, then life is just about suffering. That is their world. That's their world. But that doesn't mean you have to agree with it. Okay? There's 8 billion people. In essence, there's 8 billion worlds. What world do you want to be in? Okay? If you feel dissatisfied, if you're feeling drained by the world you're in, then create a new world. And that starts within you. All right, then. I feel like that's it now. All right. So before I go, I'm going to let you know that you are free. The only limitations that you have are within yourself. You are powerful. You do create your reality through your beliefs, expectations, and assumptions and your thoughts. You are love. Okay, you're the essence of love. God is love. Creator is love. Source is love. And you are an extension of that love. And so you are love. Okay, by nature, you are good, deserving, and excellent. You are an excellent creature, an excellent, valuable part of divinity, an excellent, valuable part of the universe in which we all have our being. Okay, it is good and safe for you to grow, develop, and use your abilities, because in doing so, you're expressing the energy of the universe itself, enhancing all of creation and allowing creation to enhance all of you. Okay, all of your imperfections and all of the imperfections of all beings, they're already redeemed in the greater scheme of the universe in which we have our being. All right, and so it is so. Thank you for sticking around. I'll catch you on the flip side. Ciao for now.